Welcome to Girls Only Sports. Why are you cheesing so big?
Because this is the most awkward part.
I'm leaving this in here. The smile is because of the Olympics.
That too. Yeah, I'm feeling very, patriotic right now.
Very patriotic. I'm Candace. The one with the big smile is Kay. She's just feeling so patriotic. This is Olympic Takeover. We're just going to run down some things that we've been so excited watching during the Olympics. Again, follow us on all social media platforms, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, X, TikTok, all of it. Because if you're like us, the Olympics just got us twisted.
Everywhere. Like, I'm watching things I didn't know I liked.
And, we can't cover everything. So, what's been some sports that, has just been on and you've been enthralled?
Locked in?
Yeah.
I think me, along with the rest of the world, rugby.
Listen.
What is going on?
Listen.
I seen one clip and I'm like, they're brawling. I'm sold. Like, what is happening?
Right. I know none of the rules.
Nothing.
But it is the most exciting thing I ever seen.
It's so exciting. I'm like, this is pure vibes for me right now.
Right.
That's all I'm going off of. I have no
and
clue what's happening.
There was one game where one of the teams showed up with helmets, and then the other team showed up with no helmets. And I'm like, listen, if I show up to a game in rugby and y'all go to helmets and I don't, get out of my way. We playing a different game. Yeah.
Right.
But while we on rugby, Team USA and rugby had probably the craziest, I don't even know how you explain it. They were competing for the bronze medal against Australia, and I akin it to a football team winning a championship off of a 99-yard kickoff.
Right. What happened?
Alex Cedric, just gets pitched the ball and just runs over the girl and takes off. When I tell you I was in here, USA, USA, USA.
USA, USA. It's such a patriotic time for me. I didn't know I had this in me, to be fair.
Yeah, it was just exciting. I don't know how to explain it, especially for...
Yeah. I think, too, it's the excitement that it's the world stage.
Right.
You're just not just watching, a random, game. You're just oh, you're doing it for the whole country. I feel like I won, to be fair.
Right. We all want, and I think the beautiful thing about it is that 66,000 people watch that match, and it's women's rugby is looking like they're having, I heard this before, they're having their 99 women's soccer moment, where it's people are getting into this. Ilona Mar has turned into this superstar.
Yes, and I love it. And I think, too, a lot of these Olympic sports, all eyes are on the women this year.
Right.
And I think that's huge. So you just see so many people, covering the women's aspect of, or the women's side of the competition. And, we'll never complain about that.
No, never. Ilona Mar, she has clips all over Twitter that's she's Marshawn Lynching these women out of her way.
Yeah, those clips are insane.
If I saw her coming, I could not play rugby. X that out.
Neither.
I'm a fan. Yeah. If they bring it here, I'm showing up because it's exciting. But if I see that woman coming at me full speed, I'm just giving up. So shout out to the opponent. Right. I'm you can get it. But it's one of those sports where, I wish I knew the rules and what was going on. Because they play 10, 15 minutes. But that's because it's full tackle football with no helmet, no pads.
Yeah. I think, I don't know, maybe we just have to watch a couple more and then we'll be professionals.
For sure. We got to get one of these players on our show. We got to get.
Oh yeah, that'd be good.
Because they need to they need to break it down to us newbies. Because now we new fans in other sports. We were ragging on all the new fans in basketball. That's how we are right now.
That's us with everything right now.
Ilona Mar is the greatest player of all time.
Right. Go. Our favorite.
Go. Our favorite. But this was the first Rugby Sevens Olympic medal that Team USA has won in history. So congratulations to them. They won the bronze. And again, rugby being on the precipice of something big. Michelle Kang, who is the owner of the Washington Spirit, It's, you know, she's all into, like, she's writing checks.
All in.
She's writing big checks.
Check. She's money where your mouth is.
Listen, she's playing no games about women's sports. She's like, listen, here's the check. So she just wrote the U.S. women's rugby team a $4 million check over the span of 4 years to prepare them for the 2028 Olympics, which is huge. So if they can bring that energy, sustain it, and be able to pop it off in 2028,
sky's the limit.
Sky is the limit.
With Michelle behind me, I'm invincible, to be fair. I think I'm invincible.
We need to reach out to her.
Right. There's nothing I can't do.
Right. Like, come on, Michelle. You need some commentators.
Right.
Right. You need somebody to break down all of this stuff. We can have our own Olympic show on the Michelle Kane Network. Like, we can rock this.
Right. The Michelle Kane Network. Right.
But she deserves her own She Did That, because to have a woman investing in other women in the way that she does, like at a massive scale. Like I said, she's already an owner of an NWSL team. She owns a couple of other teams too, and now is all in for women's rugby. Just shout out to her and what she's doing.
Definitely so.
And we got to move on to, you know, the most dominant team in basketball. Men's or women's, they're going after an 8th straight Olympic title. So they got their start against Japan. I won't say I was nervous if anybody watched our previous show. I was just like, but listen, I didn't know our USA women's team was so much taller than Japan.
Yeah. I think that's where they, I would say, lucked up.
A couple of them shots where Brittany Griner, where BG is just like holding the ball and like the girl is at her waist. Like, that's how she was, the Statue of Liberty on the basketball court. Right. But the USA women's team defeated Japan in their first game of pool play by 26 points. And basically the summary of the game is, this looks like it's going to be the Asia and Stewie show.
Asia and Stewie show.
That's what it looks like. Yeah. Asia had 24-12. Stewie had 22-8. And I don't think it's a more perfect moment for those two, because I think a lot of the attention has been going to the rookies. And rightfully so. But when you're looking at the two best players in the world at the top of their game, they're playing on the same team. They've been playing with each other since they were like 16, 17 on the U.S. Olympic team. And to see them competing at this level, it's just awesome to see. Chelsea Gray, shout out to the God, the point guard, had 13 assists.
Yeah. I think it's funny, too, that the announcers are calling her point guard. I said, did they really just call her that? I love it.
You know what? I think part of it is because I think people have gotten really comfortable calling other players the best point guard in the world and the best passer in the world. Right. And, you know, Chelsea Gray was injured and she's just coming back into her W form. I think the announcers are like, listen, this lady is different. Don't forget.
Yeah, like, that's the point guard.
That's the point guard. That's the God. 10 of them 13 assists was in the first half, so she showed up real big, but not much of a. Don't get me wrong, Japan was going off from the 3-point line,
and they always do.
Listen,
and they always do.
Some of them WNBA teams who can't shoot from the outside, they need to make some calls. You heard it from me. But I said it. They need to make some calls because they was knocking them down. 3 million people tuned in to this game too, which is a huge number for a game that I think came on in the middle of the day on the USA Network and was still able to pull those numbers in. So, like you said, this is the time for women's sports all around. Yeah,
all eyes.
All eyes. But around the basketball world a little bit, we had some upsets. Nigeria beat Australia, which was an upset because Australia is coming in. Lauren Jackson is on that team. Like, don't get it twisted. I think her and Diana are the same age, still out here hooping. Right. But that was a big upset. I believe that was one of Nigeria's first Olympic wins in pool play. So shout out to them. And then Germany beat Belgium. Yo, girl. Satu Savli, who said, bump y'all at the beginning of the W season. I'm trying to get a medal.
Like, I'm resting up for the because I'm resting for the Olympics, honestly.
I got bigger goals. They were able to knock off Belgium. I shouldn't say knock off. They're still in pool play, but I had Belgium like as a contender Emma Miesemann, who was a WNBA Finals MVP, is on that team. But Germany came out on some business.
Listen, Germany's looking good.
Yeah.
They look good. They look dangerous.
Yeah. Now,
you was a little nervous about that game.
You know what? I was. Like, the rotation. I ain't gonna do my deep dive.
Nasty. It was nasty.
Yeah. But I still got USA having no problems.
For sure.
But it is, if there is a something they have to fix, is from the 3-point line. We couldn't knock anything down against Japan, but there's so much of a size advantage for the USA team. And then obviously, when you got the two best players, there's really nothing you can do. But I think one of the best things about watching the Olympics, especially in basketball, is we get the opportunity to see how players play outside of, like, the WNBA.
Yeah.
And, like, Megan Gustafson for Spain. Listen, she put on her Asia Wilson hat.
Who is that? You said, who is that?
Like, listen, she's a role player for the Las Vegas Aces. Don't get me wrong. She's a big-time scorer in Iowa. She had all the records, obviously, before Caitlin got there. But when I tell you she put in work, she's playing for the Spanish national team. She put in work against China. 29 points, 8 boards. Incredible.
A clinic.
Listen.
What am I saying?
Listen, and not to be outdone, even though they lost, Yuru Lee, who plays for the Los Angeles Sparks, again, a role player in the WNBA, she dropped 31-15.
Listen. 31-15 is nuts.
It's crazy. And I guess I want people to understand, like, this is just the level of talent in the WNBA. These players are doing this on Olympic teams, yet going back to the WNBA and are role players.
And playing, yes.
You know what I mean? Coming off the bench. Like, trying to get, 10 to 12 minutes a game. Right.
Yeah.
They are putting in work.
Fighting
that was
for it.
One of the most exciting games, Spain over China in overtime, was just an incredible way to start off the tournament. A lot of more games to go. USA is a heavy favorite still. But if you want to watch some good basketball, matter of fact, most of those other games had 29,000, 28,000 people show up to watch. So women's basketball is just taking over even at the Olympics. But a bit of concern. Our USA 3-on-3 team, they started off pool play today. Dearica Hamby, Sierra Burdick, Haley Van Lift, and Ryan Howard make up our 3-on-3 team. We won the gold last year. However, we dropped the first game in pool play today against Germany. I'm nervous. Should I be?
You nervous? I don't think you should be nervous. Okay. That's a little jitters. The team was like a little...
I think they came out like, we about to win. And then Germany turned it up a notch and they didn't match it.
Because Germany's not playing this Olympics. The whole nation of Germany is not playing with y'all.
Right. And I think in 3-on-3, it's tougher to mass talent. Meaning, you can have the best player, but everybody else can just ball. And if they make shots, then that's all that they need. And Germany came out knocking down them shots. USA didn't. Ooh, they got a few more games in pool play.
A little bit.
They did. I will say it is exciting. You know what I mean? I think they play 10 or 12 minutes. But it's the first to 21, so it happens really, really quick. So when it was over, I was like, "Dag, they lost." What happened? But
you gotta go back and watch game footage.
Right, they're gonna have to pick up their defense a little bit. But if you want to see some prime competition and not a whole bunch of blowouts, check out the 3-on-3 women's basketball Olympic tournament. It can get really interesting. So to leave basketball alone, our girl Coco. She was our flag bearer and everything. Coco. It's okay, Coco. It's just something with her in the French Open. She lost in singles. She's still live in doubles and in mixed doubles. But I don't think they feeling Coco over there in... And when I say that, I mean the referees. So these are like the second or third time she's gotten into it, and rightfully so, with the referees over a rule that she's been penalized for.
Yeah. It's unfortunate to see, especially she's so young too. So you don't want her to have that in her head that like, oh, they don't like me, or it's something against her there. But you do have to call it into question. Like, it's a constant thing that's happening for her when she's playing in those tournaments. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah, I wanted her to go to at least medal in singles, but like I said, she's still alive in doubles and in mixed doubles. So hopefully, I'm putting it out there. Our patriotic side, USA, gold in those two events, because we need her to break it down. Our U.S. women's soccer team is making some noise.
Listen,
they looking a little different.
I told you they had a good group stage, and they are having a good group stage right now. I'm confident. I'm pretty confident.
They beat Zambia and they beat Germany. I think it was that Germany win that made everybody like, oh, okay, this team may be a little different. Now, I did text you like, listen, listen, I got all the faith in my favorite player, Nair, but they get too close to her. Like, they're going to have to...
You like, give her a little space, please.
Give her a little space. You know what I'm saying? Like, she had to make like a couple of really, really big saves in like the first 15 minutes. I'm like, y'all making me a little nervous.
I agree. I think for me personally, it's going to come down to that second half play. I think they get kind of flat in the second half. I think the Germany game was definitely better. It was definitely better. They look better in the second half in the Germany game, but that first game against Zambia, like, we're gonna say it's first game jitters. Gonna let it get out. Everything looks good, and like I said, Mal's having a great tournament goal scoring, and she definitely is. She looks great. Sophia looks great. Trinity, I think she's only had one goal, but you cannot
nobody
deny
can stop
her presence.
Right.
You can, like, she is playing such a role in creating opportunities for everybody. And when you don't put it in, if you're not the one putting it in the back of the net, it kind of can go under the radar.
Right.
You definitely can't allow it, because Trinity is putting in work in this tournament. I think everybody looks so good. Like, you know me. I love Brazil. I love Spain, but baby, that USA game came on. The Friday came out. I was screaming.
Not you jumping back on the USA bandwagon.
Listen, I wasn't. Because it's still Marta, but we look good, and I was patriotic. You know how we get during the Olympics.
For sure. And you mentioned Mallory Swanson, Trinity Rodman, Sophia Smith. Everybody is just hype on those three players and the way that they're playing and the ability to score goals. That was the big thing in the World Cup. It's just like, we couldn't get a ball in the net. But a player that you always hype on our show, Lynn Williams, got in. Shout out to the one leg sleeve. Got a goal.
Yes. Oh my God.
From an alternate to scoring a goal in the Olympics.
Making things happen. And that's another thing I want to see from Emma Hayes is like getting more minutes for the bench. I think this next game, I think you'll see a lot more of the, because they're already qualified. You're already going to quarterfinals. So I think you'll see more of those bench players playing in the next game. So I'm excited to see what they can do, what they can bring. But you can never deny the fact that Lynn Williams is going to give you that spark off the bench.
Right.
She's going to do it for you every time. In the leg sleeve, I think there's something in it. Like, check it.
She said, "Listen, I'm getting my time, and I'm shining in the minutes that I get."
The most.
Like you said, they're already in the quarterfinals. They play Australia next. A little preview for them. What do you think they're? Again, they already made it. So, like, what's the strategy going into a game like this?
I think the strategy going into this is you're already going to the quarterfinals. You get to rest those big players. You can give Mallory, Trin, so some rest, and get some other people out there just to see how they look. Like, she didn't really do too much substitutions that, especially in that second game, which, here nor there, but I think you'll see more variety of different players out there, and just give them some minutes and see how they look. I'm excited to see the young gun Cor Bethune. Yeah. So I hope she gets some minutes.
For sure. I think they, depending on when we release this, they play really, really soon. But we're not to the knockout stages yet, but they've had a good showing in pool play. And again, like all these other tournaments, there's just other tournaments in the Olympics. There's other games that are just going crazy. I don't want to disappoint you. But like, I was just scrolling on the feed, right? And I seen this goal by Japan. Like, I don't know how far away she was from it, but like what was it, like 30 seconds left in the game? And just knocked in a wild.
You know, that, shout out to her for that, because that's great awareness of seeing that the goalkeeper is off her line and taking that opportunity. Because that's a Hail Mary shot. You don't know if that's going to go in, but you have to take that chance. And lucky for her, unlucky for Brazil, it went in.
Right.
But I do think Brazil, you know me, I'm still March until I die.
Right.
I do think they make it being a third place team.
Okay.
As of right now.
Right. But it was just a crushing way to lose. It's still pool play, but it was just a crushing way to lose. It was just like Japan being able to defeat Brazil like that. A stunner is what it was.
Definitely a stunner. And I think out of all the groups, that definitely was going to be a group that had a third place team coming out. I don't think that was a fun group in general.
Yeah.
With Spain, Japan, Brazil, like that's a fun group to watch in general. So I'm very excited for that one. Oh, and then my faves matchup next match, Marta and Alexia, Spain and Brazil. So
now Alexia hit that goal. Listen, like, I think I'm becoming a sucker. Like, what is happening to
you
me?
Have to.
Like, what is happening? Listen. She hit that goal from, like, what was that, a free kick?
Yes.
Listen.
Are you kidding me?
With
the left foot. Let's talk about it.
Tell her to get out of here. Like,
listen.
We don't need no more goals.
I'm a little worried about them. Not right. I'm a little worried about Spain. Like, they look a little flat out there, and I'm questioning coaching as usual. Like I said,
for sure,
I question that a lot with Spain with their lineup, and especially in a game like that where you need to try and get a goal. I don't know where the logic of not putting Jenny Hermoso in is, but for me, I think
maybe they just saving their legs. They know they're gonna, we know we're gonna get to the knockout round. Maybe, but
you got Aitana, Alexia. You got the midfield that you dream of out there.
Oh, we wait until the knockout round to show you what we can do. That's what that is.
Yeah, I hope so.
But before we leave soccer, I think one of the craziest games that perhaps anybody has ever seen, that in the Olympics, in NWSL, in the World Cup, in any international competition, was Zambia and Australia. Like, I was like, why are they playing basketball? Like, they're not supposed to be scoring goals. Every other minute.
That was insane.
Yeah.
And then, as usual, we have to go back to. I think here. So the Zambia USA matchup. I think what happened is the USA players are very familiar with Barbara Banda at this point in the NWSL. So I think they were very prepared to handle what she can do. I think the next matches will prove Barbara Banda's talent as far as a hat trick in the first half.
Right. Australia was like, where did you come from?
Yeah, who is this? Yeah, I think USA was very well prepared for it, but
unfortunately, though, they were up 4-2 for most of the game. But then Australia just kept knocking on. It was just a brutal way for Zambia to lose. And again, this is a team that off the field has had some massive things that they're dealing with. Like, their head coach is under like some severe abuse allegations. He can't even stay in the hotel with his players because there have been massive amounts of allegations against him, against the same players that are playing for him, which is wild. Of why they just won't switch out the coach. But it was just a heartbreaking way to lose, especially with Barbara Banda having a game like she did. Like, I'm like, sis, this ain't, I can't compare it to hockey because it was scoring so many goals. I'm like, what are y'all doing?
Yeah, what are we doing?
It's like home run after home run after home run. I'm like, look at me.
And then in that group too, I just want to give a shout out to Germany because I did doubt y'all a little bit. But Germany said, "Girl, we experienced," and you right. They are experienced, and they have they look good. So
yeah,
shout out to Germany too.
So the Olympic soccer tournament, I think that's going to be one of the ones to look out for because it's just parity across the board. There's not a team that
definitely
is like, oh wow, this is it. This is going to be the gold medal match. A lot of teams are playing really, really well. Just to continue on a little bit, our gymnastics team. Listen, if there's a team of the Olympics, that's it. Cover girls.
Go girls.
That is what they are. The goat of all goats, Simone Biles, Jordan Childs, Suni Lee, Jay Carey, and Hazel Riviera won the gold medal in the USA team competition. It was just I don't know how to explain it. Watching the Olympics and gymnastics, that's a sport like I've never played, never really could get into. I shouldn't say play. I don't even know if you play gymnastics.
That is so funny you say that, because I said that earlier today. I was like, the players, and I said, are they players?
Are they players? What do you call it? Like, I couldn't get in a leotard. You know what I mean? I could never do a cartwheel. Like, this is scary. I could never do a split. So they're doing things I couldn't even imagine. When the Olympics come around, I'm like, this is the team locked in. And they perform so well in the team competition. Simone Biles and Jordan Childs, they competed on all the apparatuses and had to perform well, but they were so much. And shout out to Suni Lee and Jay Carey as well. It was just awesome to see. Like I said, they're cover girls. They're the superstars. Everybody kind of knows what happens in Tokyo. Simone got the twisties and had to pull out some of the events. Jordan Childs didn't necessarily have the best competition and got a silver. Yeah. Suni Lee has been dealing with some health issues, and to see them all kind of come back and put together, I think they beat the second place team by 6 points, which look, new fan in gymnastics, look at me trying to run this down. That's like unheard of. Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
It was just incredible to see. Simone Biles has her 8th gold medal in Olympics, and she passes Shannon Miller for the most Olympic medals in gymnastics. Look, there's no words for what they do. There is no words.
It's so fun to watch too, because that's when you really watch and you're like, yeah, I can't do that.
No.
That's y'all had that.
It's the speed, it's the power, it's the grace, it's all of it. And I think there's 2 things that have kind of changed in gymnastics that I'm happy about. One of them being, it was such a sport where it was like you had to be a teen to do it or a young person to do it. Like if you hit 20, it was like you're old and you can't be in gymnastics anymore. These are grown women competing in this sport and dominating the sport. And so I think it puts professionalism towards the players compared to the coaches creating that kind of domineering environment around the sport, how it has previously been. And we know all the story with gymnastics, with U.S. Gymnastics, and even with other countries about, some of the heartbreaking things they had to endure just to become Olympians. But having these women be the forefront of the sport. And then, again, when I started watching it in 1996, it was Dominique Dawes. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You could look to one person and was like, I see me. Same thing with Brown and Scurry. Like, I see me. And now you look at this USA team and see, again, Simone Biles, to see Jordan, to see Suni Lee, even to see Jay Carey and Hazel Riviera, just to see the composition of the team is just encouraging that everybody has a place.
Yeah.
In this
sport. I think you're seeing that on a lot of the USA rosters in general this year, and it's like you said, it's just everybody has a place, and it's good to see for the growth of, honestly, just the nation and sport in general.
For sure. Shout out to Italy. They got second place. It was their first medal in like 94 years. I got that from the broadcast because I'm like, what do you mean 94 years is the first time you guys gotten a medal like since? Wild. And then shout out to Brazil. Brazil's just one of those teams. They won the bronze. They don't get a lot of funding. Obviously soccer is the big sport there, and it's been a fight to get funding for women's soccer. But their gymnastic team were able to pull out the bronze, and there was a gymnast, Flavia Saravia. I hope I got her name right, but she cut her eye on the uneven bars, and was laid out, warming up, put a Band-Aid on that thing, and went out and competed the rest.
Be ready.
Like, It was wild. Like, she had a black eye, couldn't see. Like,
yeah. She said, "What's that stopping?"
I think it hurt my feelings because I'm like, you ain't her. Like, that's a greatness that I don't have. I would have been like, no, take me out. I can't see the bar. I can't see the beam.
Like, that's enough for me today.
That's enough. Get me out. But just to see that young woman get cut, get hurt, but still get out there and compete and contribute. Again, one of these gymnasts who had to compete on all 4 apparatuses and was able to win that team a bronze medal was just incredible. She deserves that she did that. I think I gave it to the USA Gymnastics team, but she's going to have to share that because that was just an incredible performance from her because she didn't give up. She, like I said, slapped a Band-Aid on that thing and just went out and competed.
The show must go on. You on the world stage. She was not giving that moment up. And I'm not mad at it.
No, congratulations to her. For our She Did That, we're going to give it to our USA Women's Gymnastics team. Dominance is what it is. Redemption from Tokyo. All of them, I think everybody kind of, it's one of those things when people expect you to do well and then to show up and actually do well is a different kind of, I don't know, it's a different kind of swag. It's a different kind of aura. It's like, I'm great. I'm about to show you why I'm great, and you're going to see me while I'm great. And all those young women showed up and showed out. So shout out to all of them. And for our X's and O's segment, we got to dig into a little controversy. Because obviously with all Olympics, there's just something happening. And in women's sports, there's a soccer team in Canada who's had some fairly recent success. They won the Tokyo Olympic gold medal, but they were caught flying drones over their opposing team's practices, and all hell broke loose.
Yeah. I'm questioning the logic, to be fair. Canada is not no slouch. Canada's not no team that, like, you're playing Canada, you're well prepared for Canada.
Right.
New Zealand, on the other hand, they won. You can't just be like, oh, this is an easy win. Right. However, I don't think I need drone footage. Like, it felt like a waste of footage for me.
Okay.
That's my biggest question. Why
give us the background?
Why the New Zealand practice of all things? But I think it is interesting that I don't remember who it is from USA Soccer came out and said it's not the first time that they've heard about Canada doing this, and it's something that's known that they do. So,
and you say that there have been kind of murmurs that Canada, who, again, like I said, won in Tokyo, they were filming some of Japan's, who they beat in that gold medal game. They were filming some of their training sessions. And, you know, Canada, with this still going on, they were able to beat New Zealand 2-1. They were able to beat, after everything blew up, France 2-1. But in penalizing the team for all of this being found out, FIFA penalized them 6 points in the Olympic tournament, and then their head coach has been suspended for the year and then removed for the Olympics. So what? And let me add too that Canada is appealing the sanctions, but they're in the middle of the tournament. I don't know how that's going to work out. So let me ask this to you: when FIFA penalizes a team 6 points, how everybody was kind of explaining it was like this is an insurmountable sanction or deduction that Canada won't be able to get to the knockout rounds. So what exactly does this mean that a team gets deducted 6 points in an Olympic tournament?
Basically exactly that. 6 points. You're starting 6 points in the hole. That's what you have to think about it as, because they won both of their games. In that they have 6 points, meaning if you win a game, you get 3 points. They won 2 games, so they have 6 points, but they're currently sitting at 0 points in the table
because of the
6 point deduction that they have. So possibly they could make it as a third place because they take the top 2 teams out of each group, and then you take the 2 top third place teams. So is it possible for them to make it out as a third place team? I think so. I will say, if you told me Colombia will be sitting on top of Group A right now, I wouldn't believe you.
Right.
Like, in a group with France, Canada, I would have said Colombia was sitting in third place, New Zealand in fourth. But
this sanction like drastically changed.
Yeah, it drastically
the makeup
changed
of that group.
because without the deduction, Canada's sitting top of this group. They have 6 points. Everybody else has 3 points in the group. So it's a hard hit to take. It is such a hard hit for them to take. And I think after the last match, I can't think of her first name, Jills, came out and said, we don't need drone footage or whatever. We're damn good players. And fair play, but I don't know. What do you think as far as punishing the players for something that they claim they've never seen any drone footage? Maybe it was just for the coaching staff to look at. Even so, you have to take into consideration if the coaching staff are the only ones that seen the drone footage, they're still using that footage that they've seen tactically to help the team. They're telling the team certain things, whether or not they've seen the drone footage or not. Do you think that the players should be penalized in such a drastic way?
Oh, that's hard. Oh, that's hard. That's hard. In sport, look, your team is your team. The coaches are a part of that team. And if they're playing outside of the lines, that's just the consequence everybody is going to have to deal with. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if the head coach, and it's the head coach, it's not, obviously as an assistant was a whistleblower or whatever, but their coaches and some of their administrators are involved, it's going to affect your team. That's why you need people with integrity and all that other stuff to be at the head of your organizations or whatever like that. So I do think sometimes your head coach's actions, being that they are the head of the team, the players have to be penalized. I think the drone part of it adds a different element to it too, because I'm like, coaches scout. People, they go to other games, they pull footage from other matches, XYZ. But the thing is, having a drone in practice where you're trying to think of some kind of tactical advantage that you can have, that's completely different. That's like somebody showing up to a basketball practice, or I ain't gonna bring up, the NFL's or college football, because somebody was over there. Somebody was over there stealing signs. I think that kind of coloring outside the lines is just it tarnishes the whole thing, because now you're looking at Canada, who's had some, Sinclair, who's a big time player for that team. Everybody is looking at her. That's why I say the coach and everybody is a part of the team. Now, was your success your success, or was there a larger, for lack of better words, conspiracy going on that gave you guys an advantage?
Yeah, I get it, and I really do, but I still don't think tactical or not. I don't think I don't know. It's so hard, because I'm like, they still played the game. They fought hard for it, but
because all that filming couldn't have, like, what if it didn't work?
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't know. It's so hard, and it is unfortunate, because there is so much talent on the Canadian team, in NWSL, WSL, like all over the world. And you got to think too, Canada has that brand new league coming next year, so like either going to be on Canada and their ethics before anything. They have so much excitement around the team in general, so it's a very disheartening. We laugh about it and joke, but it's very disheartening, especially
it
for the players.
It kind of put I won't say a huge cloud, because it's not affecting every team, but that's a question I have written down. Do you think that this is a potentially larger issue, that Canada isn't the only team that's doing this, obviously to get some kind of advantage?
Right. I think we'll find out very soon. I think this is not a you got the deduction, your coach is gone a year type of situation. I think I don't think so at all. I think it's going to be a very lengthy investigation. I think they're going to look at several nations. I don't think it stops with Canada, because it's bigger than I don't know. I think everybody realizes it's big, but I think it's bigger than we realize. You get what I mean? Like, I think it's going to be a lot more of a process to digging deeper and figuring out what exactly they got out of it. Because the players are saying they never seen footage, so
how long, how much, What did you get? What was the results? You know what I mean? Did the players watch? They're saying that they didn't. But if you're just watching tons of film, you're not gonna know where it cut. Like, it gets really, it gets messy. Does. Yeah, and it's just an unfortunate circumstance. To start off the tournament too. Like,
that's what I'm saying. I was gonna say, to start the tournament like that. And the thing too is, it was a closed practice. I think that's why they were like, what is happening? Like, nobody's supposed to be at there. There's not supposed to be any cameras at these practices. They should, if it's a closed practice. So a drone flying over your practice is going to be suspicious for anybody. But I do think it was something shady going on, especially since it was an unaffiliated media person and wasn't like directly affiliated with Canada.
They're always unaffiliated with the drone.
Yeah, so it was very sketchy and it's very unfortunate. But I'm very curious to see how that plays out and how everybody else ends up faring with that one too.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye out on this storyline. We just wanted to hit on it because it's one thing to have cheating allegations happening at the beginning of an Olympic tournament. Obviously, you don't want that kind of clout. And we can deem this the Women's Olympics because that's who's getting all the headlines. And it was just unfortunate that this came out the way it did. So we'll keep track of it. We'll see what Canada does to see if they can get to the knockout round. But we wanted to talk about it a little bit. Before we go, let me ask you though, did you watch the opening ceremonies?
I did not see the opening ceremony, no.
Oh, okay.
Did you watch it?
I watched part of it when it came on later. Celine Dion was incredible. Like, she has that documentary that's, going about her health issues. So to see her on the Eiffel Tower singing, I was like, oh my God. I got a little misty.
You were feeling emotional?
Yeah, I was like Kelly Clarkson about to cry on the broadcast.
Right.
That's how it was. But the reason I bring that up is all of them athletes was on the river in the rain. And I'm like, are they about to get the flu before the Olympics?
Right.
Like, at a certain point, I would have been like, as sick as I get, I would have been like, no.
Right. I'm going to be honest with you. I seen that USA boat, baby, I wasn't getting on it. It was way too many people. Like, this can't be safe. I didn't know they was going to be on the boat. I thought the boat was going to have a flag on it or something. I didn't know what was happening.
They was all on the boat. They was all on the boat, in the rain, in close proximity. And I think one of the gymnasts said she even got, was that a gymnast or Haley Van Lith? It was one of them said they got a little sick and was under the weather because they was outside in the rain. I'm like, I get
it's cute.
It was cute. When they came
up
with this whole thing, yes. I was like, I get it. The river is famous, yada, yada, yada. It would have been real cool. All these countries on a boat going through. That's all nice. The minute it start raining, get them off the boat.
Wrap it up. Yeah, wrap it up.
Sick. And then I think one of the swimmers tested positive for COVID too. I'm like, listen, they was all on that boat.
The drama. The drama, honey.
Drama. But the Olympics for us is just, or at least, how was it for you? For me, patriotic all the way.
Patriotic, just vibes.
Just vibes.
Why am I watching equestrian at 4 a.m? What's happening? It's just fun. Like, I think I'm gonna need the U.S. fun time.
Yeah, to up them gold medals. I know we're leading in the gold medal count, but like we need more golds. Yeah, we're like fourth.
Yeah, we're leading in the like total medal count, but the golds is looking low. Yeah. So I'm over here like USA. Look, this is how you know me. I'm talking about Spain, right? Soccer. I'm over here like we gonna get it in soccer, and I'm like,
soccer, basketball, bandwagon. All from my couch. I'm judging. I'm like, we need more goals. We need more goals.
What are we doing? Are we getting lazy?
We need more goals. But track and field is about to start up. And maybe we can get one of our guests. Exciting. We got somebody who knows some more details probably than you and I on the track and field stuff. We can bring her on. But that's going to start in 3 days. But that was our Olympic kind of preview, recap, all of it. We're just all enthralled. We're going to come back with some more. As always, please join us. That's Kay. I'm Candace. This is Girls Only Sports. And stay tuned for our next episode
of the Playbook.
Of the Playbook? I never
go.
Tune in for the next episode of the Playbook.